What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. So today I wanted to cover a topic that is probably something that we should definitely talk about a lot more now that we're in the current times that we're in. We're about to go through another spike. Like, it's going to get crazy, and it's something that I've been dealing with for like the past month and a half, and it's the balance between social life and being a developer slash, it's that work-life balance that we all talk about. Recently, I've been struggling with this. I haven't actually been like the best when it comes to having that work-life balance. Recently, I've been wanting to just work, and I felt like I wasn't being productive at all if I am being taken away from my desk and not doing something productive 24/7, and I just feel like I'm being attacked, and I feel anxiety, and I just get into this weird spot with myself where I feel like I'm not doing enough and that I'm failing in life. Because of that need to want to be productive all the time, I've just been neglecting my friends, and for most of us, neglecting all of our friends is not something that you should be doing, and you should never be in that spot. This is probably one of the biggest things that I struggle with, like I said earlier, as a developer, having the work-life balance and being able to kind of structure myself in a way where I can have that balance. Especially now, like I said, with lockdown, with COVID going on, it's very, very easy to stay home and have that incentive of not wanting to go out and just hunker down in your rooms and work because there's really nothing much going on outside depending on where you're at. So it's very easy to get kind of stuck in that way and not want to leave and kind of just neglect those that you actually care about. So as human beings, put the developer role aside. No matter what career or industry you're in, it's completely unhealthy to have this unbalance with social life and work life. You need to have that balance, that time to relax and step away and spend times with the ones you care about, because without it, we don't get grounded. It's easy to spiral down into a just pit of depression, anxiety, self-doubt, all that kind of stuff that wraps around with that. And to be able to combat the burnout, the depression, you need to have personal time. And I think that now is no better time to prioritize mental health and more importantly your personal time, because you need that. I'm still going through kind of the side effects of going through my own burnout, my own mild depression, my own anxiety. Like I said, in the past month and a half, I haven't actually or exactly been in the best mental state. There's a couple different factors that play into that, and it's been rough for me, but having the friends by my side, in my corner, just talking with me, letting me talk has been the most beneficial thing to me. But I wanted to kind of go through a couple ways that I'm going to be implementing into my life, not just with the friends, but in my own life as an individual, to kind of help with that burnout and combat that, and combat the mild depression, the anxiety, and set myself up for success in the future when it comes to these kinds of situations. Like I said, this is going to be a very huge topic because as developers, it's very easy for us to get stuck in our chairs, stuck on the computers all day, because when you hit that flow state, when you get focused, it's really hard to get kicked out. So I wanted to talk about a couple ways to help ease the burnout, ease the depression, and hopefully help you get to achieve a better work-life balance. Number one is I'm going to be putting myself on a schedule. So yes, I work for myself. I'm self-employed currently. I lost my job in June. It was the whole thing, so I'm not on a set schedule. But now working for myself, making YouTube videos, doing Instagram, working with brands, and doing the podcast, all these different avenues that I have right now. Being self-employed, it's very easy to get carried away and working 80-hour weeks, or just working overtime, working midnights. Like right now it's midnight and I'm recording a video right now, so I should be sleeping right now and trying to prioritize my recovery, but I'm working, so I'm kind of going against the grain as far as what I'm saying, but hear me out for a second. Putting myself on a schedule is probably going to be one of the most beneficial things that I do. Having that structure set in place kind of helps me distinguish what work hours are going to be and what personal time is going to be. It's not going to be a 9 to 5 thing. It could be anything. It could be an 8 a.m. to a 3 p.m. It could be a 10 p.m. to a 2 p.m. Like whatever that time chunk is that I set myself up for work, that's going to be my work time. And then everything else after that is going to be personal time, because having that distinction between that work life and the social life is going to be substantial and beneficial for me, because I think that having that line, that boundary, and not crossing that and staying disciplined to that structure, to that schedule, is going to help me and make sure that I get some actual productive work in, and and that I'm not working weird hours, and that I'm actually making it a point to take time for myself, hang out with friends, do something outside, do something that isn't work to get my mind off things. That way it can actually help combat the burnout, because I'm not consistently and constantly doing work all the time, because just mentally, and like I said, I've gone through it before, when your mental is always wrapped around work, it's so unhealthy. Like, I went out with my friends the other day and I literally wrote a reminder about something about work, and it wasn't a good look. Like, we're at a bar right now and you want to talk about work right now? Like, no, that needs to stay at home. When you're out with your friends, you're out with your friends. Work should not be on your mind right now. You shouldn't be worried about the bug that you hit recently. Like, you need to be present in wherever it is you're at. If you're at the gym, you're at the gym. If you're at a bar with your friends, you're at the bar with your friends, and work needs to be put off to the side. So being on that schedule, I think, is gonna help me with that aspect. Number two, which actually goes hand in hand with number one, with the whole schedule thing, but it's a little bit more specific and not as broad as just having a schedule, is setting aside time to actually read. And now, I've always been wanting to read a lot more, you know, I feel like getting knowledge from books is something that I've always liked doing, whether that be through an audiobook or through a actual book. If you guys want to check out Audible, you guys should definitely check out the link below and get that free trial. You actually get a free book if you start the free trial, so kind of worth it. Whatever book you've had in mind and you want it through an audiobook, click that link below and you can get a free book if you start that free trial. But yeah, setting aside time or a whole day in a week to just completely sign off of the computer and focus in on whatever book I want to read. Right now I'm reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I've just been hearing great things about it, but I need to actually like spend time to read it. And I think actually just taking a day out of the week, because I work 7 days a week. Like, I'm not telling myself I can't work Saturday or Sunday, so I'm working all 7 days. It would be nice to just have one day out of the 7 to just completely sign off and read something or do something aside from coding or working on videos and working on photos, whatever it is, doesn't matter. Just spending that day and reading and just relaxing for the day, I think, is going to be super beneficial for me. I've also implemented, at night times, if I'm not recording a video right now, I would be reading in bed. It helps me go to bed. It just helps me wind down, tells my brain, hey, you're not working right now, you're reading, you're kind of just chilling, you're relaxing, it's time to wind down, so that, my body knows it's time to get ready for bed. So I've been implementing that a lot more, and I'm going to make that more of a priority going forward. Number 3 is going to be making it an actual point and an effort to make plans with my friends. If you guys, know my friends or are my friends, if they're watching this right now, they would actually say that I have this issue where I don't actually make plans ever. Like, I never make it a point to say, hey, we should go out and do something. Recently, I've been trying to be a little bit better about that, but I still hesitate a lot and I don't actually make it a point. I'm usually the one that stays at home. I'm in the group chat. Like, I don't say anything, but I'm working on stuff at home. And then someone will say, hey, let's go do something. And I'm like, okay, maybe. And then I have to get dragged out of the house in order to actually go hang out. So that's one of the bigger problems that I have, is that I'm not actually the one that goes out to make the plans. And that just kind of shows that I don't really want to hang out with people. I'm like passive in that aspect, where I don't want to hang out, but if someone wants to go do something and we're gonna do X and Y, sure, whatever, like maybe I'll go do it, but there's still hesitation there in wanting to actually go. If I'm the one that it's going to make the plans, I'm going to be there 100%. I'm not gonna skimp on that. So I think that's gonna be one of the other things that I focus on, is actually making it a point to go hang out with friends, because it's gonna force me to actually step outside of the house and go socialize. It's just that mindset of not wanting to leave the house because I'm gonna lose my shot because I'm not doing something productive. Like, that's completely not it. That's not what's happening. But in my mind, that's exactly what I'm thinking. So it's something that I need to rework in my brain, and something I need to just completely discard, because that's just not true at all. One thing we have to realize is that being productive and trying to be productive all the time is actually counterintuitive. Like, you actually become less productive trying to be productive all the time, right? Like we said before, it's you just lead yourself into depression, you lead yourself into burnout, you lead yourself into anxiety, because you feel like you have to work all the time. And then when you don't work all the time, you get this anxiety that, well, the work's not gonna get done, I'm losing my time, there's deadlines to all these things. Like, that's completely not the case. Being like hyper productive is actually counterintuitive. If you spend less time being productive, you're actually more productive. If you've read, you know, the 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss, you would understand this concept a little bit more, but I encourage you to read that book and kind of get an insight as to where he's coming from with this. But like a lot of people have been saying, you know, as we've been shifting over to this remote life, as we've been shifting over everyone to work from home, it's been a lot of people saying that working from home, they're a lot more productive. Working less hours than a 9 to 5 is actually been more productive. And it makes sense, right? Like, the less you work, in your mind, you know you have 4 hours to work. 4 hours is not a lot of time. So you can actually get to work, because in your mind, you know that you only have to work 4 hours out the day. That's going to be the most productive work you do, because after the 4 hours, you're done. You get to go hang out, you get to go do things with the kids, like whatever it is you want to do. That's something that you have coming for you. So, you know, working less actually makes you become more productive, because in that time slot, in that 4 hour, 3 hour, 2 hour, whatever it is, you get the most productive work done, because it's not long. If you're working an 8-hour day, that could become just too much, because 8 hours is a lot. Like, you just lose focus and whatever. 4 hours of work a day, that's nothing. So those are just some of the things that I want to focus on a lot more, especially right now, coming out of a weird bout in my mental, just not being there 100%, not being positive 100%. You know, this whole quarantine thing has definitely taken a toll, and there's other factors that play into that, you know, that are personal to me that I won't get into. But those are just a couple things that I definitely want to prioritize right now in order to achieve a better work-life balance. And hopefully those things can help you kind of guide yourself into a direction of where you want to be and some of the things you want to add to your life in order to achieve a better work-life balance. Because I think right now, that's something we need as people, as human beings, as developers, as whoever, right? Like, a work-life balance is something we need while we're working from home, while we're working remote. You know, we just need that in our lives right now in order to stay sane. So hopefully that helped out. If you guys like this video, hit that like button, hit subscribe. It would genuinely help me a lot. If you guys have any questions or comments on this video, or if you want to see something else and you want to hit me down in the comments, please do so. I would love to talk to you all. Doing a lot better about responding to comments and things like that. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.